Najashi, Abyssinia, who is just and who is upright and who will protect you and will allow you to practice your religion. So the simile was given to our situation in this country, that how we are blessed to not only practice our religion, but also to preach it, to propagate it. Subhanallah. So this was one of the lessons that we took, and we'll conclude with some lessons towards the end, inshallah ta'ala. We mentioned that the Najashi, when he asks from the Muslims for them to recite a portion of the Quran, Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, he decides and he recites the beginning verse of Surah Maryam. So we mentioned that this is also from the blessed Sunnah and the way of the Sahaba, that we proclaim and we say what is right at that particular time. We look at the setting, the situation, and we respond to that with the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when he recited these ayahs, which mentioned Yahya, Zakaria, Isa ibn Maryam and his mother Maryam alayhi salam, they began to cry, and so much so that it began to wet their beard, and the scrolls which they had stacked upon each other with their bishops, their scholars of that time. And it was at this point that the Najashi, he says to the two delegates that had come to take the Muslims, that you may go back. I am going to protect the Muslims that have come to my land, and I will never ever abandon them. This was the justice of this king, who wasn't a Muslim, but he was rather a Christian. So when the two delegates had gone, they said to each other that we are not going to give up on this. Rather, we are going to continue and pursue this. And we are going to create even more trouble for our kingsmen. They were their kingsmen. And it was this time, Abdullah at that time, who was more close, he cared for them. He said, no, don't do this. Rather, this will hinder your way and our way. Because what they had planned, the two delegates, was that we are going to tell the Najashi, the king, about what the Quran says about Isa ibn Maryam, that he is a slave. So they're trying to create stir in the mind of the Najashi. The next day they went to the Najashi and they say to him that, you know what, these group of foolish men that have come, not only do they claim that he is the prophet, but that he is the slave of Allah. And ask them to recite to you what the verses say about Isa ibn Maryam, Jesus Christ, the son of Mary. So when they went when the king summoned Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, and he asks him that, what do you say about